Hi, it's Mara. Welcome to my Newtopia. Today is January 10th, 2017. I had VSG surgery on August 15th, 2016. At my highest weight, I weighed 300 pounds. My surgery date weight, I weighed 250 pounds. Today, I weigh 198 pounds, and I'm 5'8". I had surgery by Dr. David Newman of Central Carolina Surgery in Greensboro, North Carolina. So there was something I forgot to tell you last week, and if you'd been watching my videos, or maybe maybe it's your first time, I'll go back and say that since week 2, I had been having pain in my stomach, like right at the bottom of my rib cage, on both sides, but definitely worse on the right side. And I had no idea what it was, and the doctor had no idea what it was, and all he said was, well, maybe it'll go away. I had this theory that if I went on an airplane ride, the pressure change might shift. Maybe it was air, even though I'm almost 5 months out. But that is in fact what happened. I went on a plane ride before Christmas, and I haven't really had the pain since then. So hopefully that's what it was just air somehow trapped in my system, in my body somewhere, got stuck, and has stopped. So today I wanted to talk about a few things. So I have said before that I eat a keto diet, which is high fat, medium protein, and low carbs. And I don't really count carbs or protein or calories or fat. I just eat things that I know are high in those things. Excuse me, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. That are high in those things or low in those things, and I just get by like that. But one of the things that you can do, having a lot of problems with my camera today. One of the things that you can do is you can test your ketone levels by these ketone urine strips. Basically, you just pee on them, and they tell you what level of how many ketones are in your urine. I am at the highest level there, the dark one. I'm right between that one and the one right below that. So somewhere between 4 and I think it's 18 or 16. And I've only tested once, and that was last week or earlier this week, depending on how you look at it. And so I know that I'm in ketosis, which means that my body is using its fat cells for energy instead of using insulin to do it. There's a lot more that goes into it. If you're really interested in keto diet or ketosis or any of those other things, you should look that up. It's not the same as ketoacidosis, completely different thing. So, I mean, I can go into it at some greater detail in the future, but I am just not really prepared to do that right now because it's a lot of science and I just don't have access to that at the moment. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was when you lose weight, or a lot of people when they lose weight, they will get skin infections. And this would be because a couple of reasons. Your skin is rubbing on other skin, which it wasn't before, or because your skin is always wet, and so you get a fungal infection. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to show you that have worked for me. One of which is this, which is Aquaphor. This is a generic of it, or no, this is not the generic. This is from Eucerin. It has there's different ones, and mainly they're in with the baby section because it's something you can use on babies for diaper rash, I think. But it works if you have a regular rash, like a heat rash or something like that. Now, if you have a fungal infection, I went to my doctor, and she told me to get something like Lamisil, or I think it's Eucerin, or something that treats fungal infections. And you just put a little bit on the area. You can look up fungal infections online. Don't eat before you do it. And you can tell if what you have is a fungal infection or just another infection, but you should probably go to your doctor. Another reason that you should go to your doctor is a lot of insurance will pay for some plastic surgery, something called a panulectomy, which is getting rid of your apron or extra tummy, different than a tummy tuck. They will pay for that if it is considered to be medically necessary. And how you get it to be considered medically necessary is you go to your doctor every time you have an infection, and they record that you have an infection or that you can't exercise because of your weight or whatever your thing is, and it can be considered medically necessary. So something that I have found personally that helps me is a different kind of underwear. So for me, okay, so I have a large stomach. It's getting smaller, obviously, but it comes down sort of like this, and then there's my underside of my stomach, and then there's like my pubic area. So imagine it looks like a J, and then a line. As my stomach decreases in size, the skin is starting to hang more, and what they can call this J shape is, they call it in medical weight loss surgery, they call it, or just weight loss, they call it an apron because it hangs down over your pubic area, and so it's like you're wearing an apron around your waist. So that apron is rubbing against the skin right above my pubic area, and okay, this might be too TMI, I don't know, I'm sorry if this has already grossed you out. Anyway, so what I do is I wear underwear that's low cut. Maybe it's bikini, maybe it's something else, but small underwear. So it doesn't come up over my stomach, but it goes under the apron between my pubic area and the apron itself, which keeps the area dry, and it keeps it from rubbing against each other. This is an inexpensive fix, and not any way medical. This is also an inexpensive fix, but medical. So it's completely up to you if you want to try either way. So since last week, I have lost about 1 pound, and I'm actually kind of surprised about it because I felt like I was eating so much this week. And I don't know if it's hormonal. I don't know if it's because I was trapped in the house, because we had snow and ice here in the south. And when we have snow and ice, we really can't leave the house because it's just all ice underneath and they have nothing to treat it. One of the things I did while I was stuck in the house, other than eat a lot, was I cooked. I made coconut lime bread, low carb, really good stuff. I would show you a piece, but it's completely gone. The other thing I made yesterday or over the weekend was I made low carb truffles. One of these is toasted coconut and the other one is toasted pecans. I have not been cooking a lot other than some baked goods because my husband was on a 9-day fast last week, and it's just the two of us in the house, and a lot of times if it's just the two of us and I'm here by myself or I'm the only one eating, then I don't do anything for food. I mean, I'll have stuff I already have. Like I eat a lot of lunch meat and cheese, bacon, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I've had a couple of salads, but that's been since he started eating food again. I don't know what it is. I mean, I think it's the same thing that a lot of single people have, where even if they're not on a bariatric diet or anything, they just don't really feel like cooking for themselves a lot because most recipes are large, that have multiple people, or it just seems like too much of a hassle to go through if it's just you. This is something I really need to get around. I really need to just do stuff for myself and not really worry about what he's doing, because the change is that since I've had my surgery, and I think I've talked about this before, is that he does most of the cooking, and that's probably because I really am still not hungry. I have occasionally been hungry this week, and I think that's part of why I was eating so much. I mean, I wasn't eating anything bad for me. I just find it so much easier just to say, well, I have this cheese or meat or salami or whatever, and just eat that and give up and not eat vegetables, which is bad, and I really do need to eat more vegetables. I know that. I just do. I just don't know why I just have such a problem with eating vegetables. I love vegetables. I love raw vegetables. But the thinking about having to prepare vegetables for just me and then having leftovers, I actually did make vegetables now that I think about it. I made sunchokes, baked sunchokes with some salt and pepper and butter and things like that, which were very good, but also kind of high in carbs. A lot higher than I thought they'd be. I mean, not that I could eat that many. I can only eat maybe say like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons at a time. last night I did make dinner. I made a pot roast in our Instant Pot, and that was, that was good, but it was for both of us and not just for me. And then he made salad for us. But I don't know, just sort of tired. I'm tired of eating. I've talked about this before. I'm just tired of eating because, it's so strange. Obviously, I have to eat, and I know I have to eat. And a lot of the whole bariatric thing is that you're supposed to eat the right things and right portions and all this. But it's just such a pain in the ass to eat sometimes. Never hungry. Food doesn't look good. It doesn't look bad. It just looks like, indifferent. It just looks like anything else in the house. I could pick up, this looks about as appetizing as a steak does to me. It's just an item that I know is edible. The steak, not the keto strips. I know it's edible, but just doesn't really appeal to me. I just realized that my boobs look really, really kind of large and spread out in this because I'm leaning back in a chair. It's a reclining chair and I got my feet up, so I don't know, it looks a little funny, but my boobs have gotten huge. Okay, sorry. And the only other thing I wanted to talk about was a lot of people will watch these videos, my videos, other people's videos, and we'll all be at different phases of our weight loss journey, for one. And two, we will all have different programs. And there's no right program, there's no wrong program. There is what works for each individual person. My particular plan at my weight loss surgery center did not work for me. It was too high in sugar, it was too high in carbs for me, and so I switched it out to the keto diet, so it's much lower in carbs, and that has worked for me. This may not work for other people, and it bothers me when I see people be completely like, this is the only way that you can lose weight, is if you eat less than X amount of calories, X amount of fat, you have to eat X amount of protein, and you have to eat less than X amount of carbs. Now, I have said in the past that I eat less than 20 carbs per day. Is that going to be what everyone can do? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I also don't stick to like I said, I don't count my calories, but I do know how many calories, how many carbs rather, are in things, and I look it up before I eat it or after I eat it, but I try to keep over a certain period of time. So if I say I eat less than 20 carbs a day, that may mean over a 3-day period, I eat less than 60 carbs a day. So one day I might eat 30 carbs, and the next day I might eat 10 carbs. You get the idea. I try to balance it out over, I think it's like, they say you should balance out your calories, your carbs, all that sort of stuff over like a 52 or 58 hour period. And not be so strict about it, because it really doesn't matter to your body how many carbs you have in one day. It matters to your body how many carbs, calories, etc. that you have over, it's more than 48 hours and it's less than 60 hours. Please respect other people, and please respect yourself, because if you're a newbie to this, and I'm a newbie, I'm not even 5 months out, but I know that there are other ways of doing this. I know that there are other programs, but I hope that everyone can just realize that we're all adults, and what works for you works for you. What works for me works for me. And we don't have to argue about it. You can listen to what I have to say, and I will listen to what you have to say. I might even think about it. I might even try it. But that doesn't mean that my point of view or the way that I'm doing it is any less true than your point of view. So just be nice to each other. A lot of people will just jump all over everybody for saying, like if I say, for example, I say I have less than 20 carbs a day. Somebody else may say, well, my program says I can have 100 carbs a day. You're getting too few carbs. You're going to die. You're not going to lose weight. You're going to make yourself sick, whatever. That's not true. That's not true. I may have scientific proof that the less carbs that you eat in a day help you to lose weight. But some programs will say, as an example, 100 carbs a day. Why? Because they realize that the people in their program have never been able to maintain, or this is averages, never been able to maintain 20 carbs a day. So if they say 100 carbs a day, well, that's still probably a lot less than people used to eat, which maybe might have been 1,000 carbs a day. So 100 carbs seems reasonable, where 20 carbs seems unreasonable to someone who had 1,000 carbs a day. That's fine. Hope everyone's well. I will be coming to you next week, where I will have met my 5-month anniversary since my surgery, and we'll have additional stats at that point. I will talk to you later. Bye.